In the second part of presentation, we will see mainly the uh, which are the evidence that are due to climate change. First one is heat waves. Some of the vector-borne diseases are common in heat waves. It has been stated in past 2006 that because of heat waves, it leads to disease like West Nile River in Israel 2000. Some of the airborne diseases are also common because of heat wave, which contributes an increased morbidity and mortality rate uh, in uh, in form of infection respiratory diseases. It's been stated in Jan 2011. Heat waves are usually because of increased temperature. Usually, increased temperature is responsible due to increase in CO2 level, and it is mainly because of air pollution. Um, Overuse of cars and transportation leads to an increase in CO2 level, and CO2 level rises heat waves, rises in temperature, and due to rising in temperature, it leads to heat waves. In next slide, we will see factors. Uh, Factor that is drought. Drought is an evidence of climate change. Uh, because of drought, some of the waterborne diseases uh, in drought condition, people are moved from their residence to camps, and in camps, usually diarrhea because of overcrowding and lack of facility. It leads to disease like diarrhea. Disease is frequent. It's been stated in Epstein 2011, especially in refugee camps. Some of the vector-borne diseases are also common. It's been stated in Kansas and Nettleman 2005. That because of drought, it's been found that the heptavirus is pulmonary syndrome is common. Uh, in During drought, chikungunya is also common. Uh, Drought condition is usually because of um, drought condition leads infection diseases usually because of overcrowding, and that's because of lack of facility. In next one is flood. Again, in flood condition, people are moved from their original residence to residential camps, and in those camps, diseases like waterborne diseases like Cryptosporidium infection is common. It's also some significant increase in risk of gastroenteritis is noticed, and which may lead with the depth of flooding in towns. In southern England, it's been stated in Reacher et al. 2004 journal. Some of the vector-borne diseases are found like typhoid, malaria, cholera, Ross River fever. Uh, Next evidence we are going to study is a hurricane. Hurricane is hurricane affects on the coastal region, and when coastal region is affected, disease like malaria, dengue fever occurs. It's been stated in Epstein 2000 that in Honduras and Venezuela, because of hurricane, dengue fever and malaria was observed. Cyclone is again an evidence of climate change. Now we will study El Nino and La Nino effect, which is been common in New Zealand, which is also found in New Zealand. In El Nino effect, some of the vector-borne diseases are responsible. They like malaria is there. Um, Now we will study a chart which shows El Nino effect. It is an equator because of thermocyle river. Some of At certain point of area, in, it's increasing up to 120 E, and at other end it is decreasing up to 80 water level. Now, in because of La Nino effect, some of the diseases like drought is common. West Nile River was observed in Japan. It's been stated in Nicholas 1993 journal. Now, we are going to study what is risk management strategy during the time of outbreak. First, risk management is to monitor, identify, treat, and evaluate and treat the disease. For that, what we need to do is first to identify the risk. Uh, for identifying the risk, we are doing some of the retrospective studies as well as the current studies. To assess the risk, we are doing the lab analysis as well as some of the precautionary conditions to assess the risk level, so that it may not spread up to the community. Control the risk. In controlling the risk, after assessing the risk, we are providing the basic advisory into the people so infection disease may not spread, and also we provide medication and services to the infected people. And at last, when the outbreak is controlled, we will review the risk, and after that, this is the basically main risk management strategy. In next slide, we are going to study as per the WHO what is the risk management strategy or framework that could support the authorities to assess, manage, and treat potential outbreak. First one is response and intervention of this is risk management process chart. It is response and intervention in epidemic phase. First one is anticipation and early detection. There, the disease is early detected so that it can be controlled. Second one is contaminant containment, so that we can control the local transmission of disease. Third one is control and mitigation. By implication of this, we can control the outbreak among the community. And fourth one is elimination or eradication, so that transmission can be reduced. Next slide, we are going to discuss about anticipation. Anticipation is basically a response or an emergence predicted but in a certain anticipated area. Uh, in, in anticipation, mainly forecasting of likely disease is quick identification of disease, which wasn't the impact of to facilitate the spread. Second one is early detection. Early detection helps to include new ones to uh, 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 and it provides scientific knowledge. Therefore, it is often requires an intense investigation into their sources. At the same time, coordinates rapid containment measures. New disease requires new interventions. Now, next we are going to discuss what is contaminant. Contaminant includes effective and rapid contaminant emerging disease, just as a vital early detection into a to avoid a large scale epidemic. Next slide, we are going to discuss what is control and mitigation is once the infection disease is controlled and mitigated, the epidemic response is to mitigate and impact and reduce the incidence of morbidity and mortality. Next slide, we are going to discuss what is elimination. Elimination is to after identification of disease, we will try to eliminate and eradicate the disease. Next slide. It is due to risk management. It improves, mitigates, and improves the competitive of outbreaks. Thank you very much. I would like to conclude my topic uh, by summarizing the first part. We are summarized what is climate change. In second part, infection disease and its risk management strategy. Thank you very much.